Okay, we are live now. Let me adjust here the chat test. Alright, hello everyone. Today we are trying to finish the minecart system. To get an overview, we have a game that is like divided in two main parts. So the first one is where you can upgrade things, a lot of things, different upgrades with money you get. It's the part where you sell to, and we have the other part. There is the gameplay loop. It's the mine loop. So you go to a mine and mine based on energy, based on your storage, and based on pickaxe durability. So today I'm going to implement the second storage, because we will have the storage in the upgrade part, because you can sell or don't your things you bring from the mine. And today we are implementing the storage during the run. So let me just change this here. The storage, it's like the main storage, not the mine one. Mining, replacing, mining, not mining. So we have the main storage, but we want to have a storage that we will use during the run. So let's make that. So I think I'm going to put it on the mine manager. Let's close other tabs. Let's open the game manager. Here, when we start mining, we get a durability. Here we have okay, and then we mine, and when we are mining, we want to store things, jewels. Alright, so we are going to have max storage. We have a script where we game data here, where we have things. This I create a type because yeah, I think it can be another storage type. It's the same thing, but we won't have, yeah, same thing. But it's going to be the storage during mining. So the cart storage, mine cart, not Mario Kart, mine cart storage, mine storage. Okay, we will have this mine storage, and here on the resource, it's the save data. I want the game data here. we can see that we are using a basic storage, something that I created with max capacity of 2. Okay, so let's go to storage resource. Let's change it to 10. Alright, and let's create a new resource, storage. It's going to be a card storage. And we will have a Godot icon. I'm not using the icon yet. Let's card storage and the capacity of 4. Okay, so now we have a mine storage that we are going to use during the mine manager. Here on the mine manager, on the game manager, we have a reference to the mine manager. So when we end the run, we are going to get those jewels stored and put on our storage. Alright, but here's the thing, I want to have the storage in the upgrade manager, because here is where I have all the things mapped, like all the upgrades. So let's create a card storage, mine storage. Who is Yocheskolski? Let me who is that? Ah, Sanj. Okay, a friend from Brazil. Yocheskolski. Don't know who that is. So flat. Mine storage size. Percent mine. Oops. Now I want those two here, and I want to go to the skill script and map those new ones here in the Xenon. Okay, now I want to get mine storage. Let's create this, copy this one, get mine storage, star. This name is wrong. Let's replace it for storage. Here, and okay. Storage, mine storage. So game data dot mine storage and mine storage here. Okay, so now we want to change the storage that we will use during the run. Oh, so you guys know, here today's video went pretty well on YouTube, about 9 kings, a lot, 1.1k. I really thought the this one would blow up on Sunday, like schedule one, but it don't. Hmm. This one really blowed up, huh? Cauldron. Didn't expect that, but I'm improving the. Let's watch the video. Short. Nine Kings is a roguelike kingdom builder where you choose one between 9 different kings that have unique powers and different strategies. You will also gain new powers depending on your enemies. The game currently has 92% of positive Steam reviews and sold more than 700,000 copies, generating a gross revenue of more than $6 million and a net revenue of more than $2 million. I added this section here so you can track the information I say about the game. I'm going to put the game name here. Nice. Improving, right? I don't know what is this. Remix. No idea. But okay. Get mine storage. So in the mine manager, let's review the full script here. Let me do that. Okay. Replacing the mineral. Here we are mining. Pop. Here we finished mining. Here we are going to change here. Select a duo. Mine storage. Let's put a parenthesis here. We are not using the game manager dual storage anymore. Here in the mine manager, we are going to create a new one. Mine. It's an array. Hey. Here. 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 And this is not right anymore. To do fungi, Google, mine storage, full. Here we are just getting a new mineral, selecting a new jewel. Okay, here. Let's throw. How can I throw an error here on? Push error. Push error. Fallback. Here. Let's put one here too. On get. Okay, so we just need to have a new UI during mining. During the mining, we need to. Okay, let's do the UI later. Later, or right now. Let's create it. Main storage. Let's just duplicate it here. Main storage. Title. Main storage. Title, capacity, okay. Here on the UI, setting state. We don't use it anymore. Storage capacity. Sign here. Set mine storage UI. Mine storage. Here I'm going to receive an inch. Current geos an inch, and we are going to use it here. Okay, so inside mine storage UI, we are going to pass the mine storage dot size here. Should be working. Just let's do like that. Later we will improve it. Okay, so now we have independent storage, and we want on the game loop here to mine. Okay, while true. Here is okay. Oh, here on mine start full. Let's take the game manager. Dot is mining. False. Here is mining. Yeah, because the storage is full. He is going to stop mining. Okay, now on the game manager we want to add those. Let's create a function add geos to storage void. Here we are going to have a geo list is storage array of geos. This is a custom type. You can create those extending resource here because we are just using data, not logic, and we give it a name. Here the shortcut is Alt and arrow, left arrow. Okay, so we're going to have, and for Geo in pmine storage, we are going to do geostorage.append geo, and if geostorage.size it's more than upgrade manager.get storage max capacity, break. If geostorage size is less or equal, upgrade manager.get max capacity, break. We won't add any geo if the main storage is full. And here we are going to I want to clear this, so let's use the mine manager dot storage manager storage. Alright, because I want to clear it. So here on clear dot clear removes all element, yeah, from array. Okay, so we lost all the geos we can put here. Okay, so here we are going to do that, and let's test one more thing. We need to update the UI, right? Just like that here. But set storage UI, and I won't pass anything, or what I need to pass? String game manager storage. Okay, it's a global node here. So okay, update the UI, and let's upgrade the set mine storage UI 0, because it's not mining anymore. So let's hit that play. Where? Okay, so in the game data resource we need to set the card storage resource here. So let's mine here. Okay, we got one, we got two, three, and not the way we wanted. Okay, so we are not calling here. So we don't have a reference for the mine manager. We have. Okay, so this is wrong. If this size is greater or equals, okay, now it should work. Okay, that's mine again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now if we sell 80. Alright, it's working. It's working. Let's commit it. Version control, very important. Let's set all. Storage. Incremented. Half an hour. Alright. Barcode here. So what's our next step? Let me, sorry, it's in Portuguese, the document. I'm sorry, I need to create an English one. Oops. Here. So here so here's the idea of the game. We will have a dwarf that mines, drop jewels. Oh, I have a to do. Yeah, I have a things to do. Jewels, blah blah blah. Energy, capacity, durability, all implemented. Ocean base, okay, implemented. The basic is implemented. We have a thing here. Runs, we did that. Energy, none. Okay, we need the art for this. Okay. Need to implement the drop system. Let's here. To implement the drop system. Lucky. Okay, we are pretty good on schedule on the programming side, I think. Oops, this is here on the second monitor. So storage here, and we were searching right how to throw an error. My friend Wagner launched Godot. I'm recruiting Godot fans here. So okay, now I have a mine storage. Oh, very cool. So let's implement the lucky system. Basically is a roulette. Let's say you have 15% of chance to get a new mineral, a double mineral, an extra mineral. So you have 50% to get an extra. You want an extra mineral. Now you have 2. Now we are taking the 50% chance by half and try again. Now have 25% to get a third one. Poof. Now you get a 12.5 chance. Poof. And till 0. Let's make like till the chance is greater than 1%. Okay. So this is the next thing, but first things first, let's watch a video to take a break. I think it's a good way to... Oh, nice. It's a good way to... Let's see for Farbelly.
For the past 5 months,
I unsubscribed him because he does a lot of lives just like me.
The goofy
and it was flooding the subscribers section.
I've been building a dark fantasy roguelite auto battler, a game steeped in necromancy, alchemy, and medieval science. In Alchemortis, every card you acquire has to be placed carefully on your grid to maximize your power. And with the alchemy system, you can mix cards together to create powerful mutations. The Steam page for Alchemortis is live right now. Wishlisting the game would help me out a lot. And starting today, the very first playtest of Alchemortis is live for Patreon supporters. That's right, you can play Alchemortis right now. I'll talk more about...
Oh, so it's like backpack battles and the bazaar thing.
That later, but first, let me do a deeper dive into the game. The core loop of Alchemortis is pretty straightforward. You collect cards, power them up through events and alchemy, and arrange them on your combat grid, and then watch as the auto battler system grinds through your enemies. It plays like a mix between a deck builder and an auto battler, but the alchemy system makes every run feel unpredictable. Honestly, it's been really fun alchemizing cards and getting unexpected results in my playtesting. I'll have more to say about the alchemy system further into the video, but for now, let me show you how the cards in Alchemortis can interact.
That's some really beautiful art. He's a pretty good artist too, besides coding. He's very good at it too. But really beautiful
This is
art, pixel art.
Skeleton Warrior. It deals basic physical damage and it's tagged as a minion. Now here's an axe tagged as a weapon. When you place the axe next to a minion, the axe's damage is doubled. Here's another example. This is a spiderling. It has the swarm ability, which means that it triggers whenever another swarm card triggers. You can flood the grid with spiderlings, or even give swarm to other cards through alchemy or enchanting. And this is a phylactery. It applies poison stacks, but those stacks grow stronger every time another card applies poison. Pair it with the quick striking ceremonial dagger, and your poison output ramps up fast. Add in a rat, which copies the poison abilities of its neighbors, or a giant squid, which applies poison 5 separate times, and you'll see your power with the phylactery skyrocket as the battle goes on. These are some of the natural synergies cards can have with their base abilities. But as I mentioned before, the real hook of this game is the alchemy system. With the alchemy system, you can combine 2 or more cards, as many as the alchemy grid allows. This alchemy system mixes all of the input cards together, jumbling their abilities, crit chances, multipliers, enchants, and even what the base card type is. Afterward, you get to choose from one of 3 alchemical results. The catch is, it's somewhat random, but you're never completely out of control. Alchemy results are always based on the inputs, nothing appears in the outputs, that wasn't already in the mix. For example, if I mix a Corvid, which will trigger twice if there's another Corvid on the board, with a Gorgon head, I could get a Corvid that inherits the Gorgon head's abilities, or a Gorgon head that echoes when another Gorgon head is on the board. This new alchemized card can then be used in future alchemies to keep snowballing its power. Some of the results that I've gotten while testing the system have been hilariously broken, but that's a lot of the fun of roguelite games. I want to make the player feel like they're breaking the game sometimes. Alchemortis isn't just about arranging the cards in your inventory or alchemizing cards together though. It's also about carefully managing your upgrade moments. Alchemortis is a roguelite, which means every run is different and death is part of the process. Between fights, you'll move around an overworld map, choosing your route carefully. Each step could be a battle, a relic discovery, or a risky experiment. As you move around the map, your notoriety goes up. Once your notoriety bar fills up, you're thrust into a life or death boss fight.
I'm definitely going to wishlist it.
In the current version of the game, the enemy faction you'll encounter is a simple one: Village Peasants. You'll fight enemy boards composed of basic cards like the Villager, who deals regular physical damage, or the Barkeep, who buffs nearby allies. I wanted it to feel like you were entering villages of medieval peasants, so I also created enemy faction cards that are livestock animals, like the Lamb, which deals more damage if there's a mutton card nearby. There's also a carrot, a chicken, and many other thematically appropriate enemy cards you can encounter. And yes, there's also a boss card at the end of the playtest run, but I'll let you discover its abilities yourself. One of my favorite parts of designing this game has been the risk-reward elements. Do you take on a tough fight to earn currency for upgrades? Do you grab a Vampire Fangs artifact, knowing it'll drain your health but give you lifesteal? Or do you try alchemizing a big, powerful card with a smaller one, risking the chance to either get something super overpowered or something underwhelming? Risk-reward is a big part of roguelite gameplay, and I'm trying to put an emphasis on choices being meaningful. Ideally, you can play Alchemortis as cautiously or as aggressively as you like, and your playstyle may change from run to run depending on how you're progressing. All of these systems come together to create a familiar but still unique auto-battler.
The only thing yeah, but like even his logo is a skeleton. It's cause on the Chinese market, they don't really like schools. I think they are kinda like that for big publishers. I don't know if an indie game is going to schools in games. Yeah, they definitely have a thing with skeletons, like undeads. Yeah.
Experience. Alchemortis takes inspiration from games like The Bazaar and Backpack Battles, but the single-player roguelite structure with the alchemy system as a central feature makes it feel really different. Thematically, I wanted the game to be darker. Necromancy felt like the perfect fit inside of a world of medieval alchemy. You're not a wizard casting spells like a traditional necromancer. You're an alchemist experimenting with forbidden science, concocting an army of the strange and grotesque. I didn't really think about it at first, but I'm discovering that a game's theme has a lot of influence over its broader appeal. The medieval science, alchemy, and necromancy themes, all mixed together in Alchemortis, create a really fun and intriguing atmosphere that definitely makes the game more appealing. The art style is something that I'm really proud of because I think it very strongly communicates those themes. This project has stretched my art skills more than anything else I've worked on, but the style I've settled into captures the dark themes I wanted. Everything you see, the cards, units, environments, is hand-drawn by me, pixel by pixel. I'm using an 8-color palette, and I have a rigid rule I adhere to. Every pixel that gets drawn to the screen has to be one of the 8 colors in the palette. That means there's no transparency and no mixing colors. It's a challenge, but following this rule has produced such a visually distinct style that makes the game stand out. As far as the actual card designs, I'm drawing from real alchemy for inspiration. I've also been referencing famous art pieces. For example, the combat widget, which is down here on the screen, has some visual elements in common with the Flammarion engraving, which is a depiction of the firmament. I love the idea of taking esoteric, pseudoscientific, and mythic knowledge from eras past and presenting it inside of the game world as if it's reality. I'm going to continue going to these sources for inspiration for the game's art as development continues. Alchemortis development started right after I finished my last game, Gunforged. It began as a small experiment after I played and loved the beta of The Bazaar. The Bazaar was my first real engagement with the auto-battler genre. It was fun, but I thought, it would be interesting if this was an auto-battler with necromancy as its core theme. The initial prototype was super rough, as prototypes usually are, but as I added more cards and mechanics, the game sort of unfolded. A lot of the game's design hasn't been carefully planned, it's emerged naturally, and that's made it a lot of fun to develop. I think that's one of the biggest signals that the game is fun at its core. Coming up with new abilities, events, artifacts, and cards is relatively easy because there's already so much to draw from and so many ways to make the gameplay interesting. The current playtest version, which again launches today for Patreon members, is just a vertical slice. One enemy faction, a handful of cards, and a single boss, but I've got a lot more planned. Different human factions to fight against, a permanent progression system, and new features that I'll be building with your feedback. For the launch of this game, I've set myself an ambitious goal, 50,000 sales. This is, as I said, ambitious, but I think it's possible as long as I don't drop the ball. Early playtests are going to be critical in reaching that goal, and I want to hear from you what works, what doesn't, and what would make Alchemortis stand out in the auto-battler and roguelite genres. One thing I'd really appreciate is if you could wishlist Alchemortis on Steam. Building wishlists is a big part of any successful game launch, so every wishlist helps a bunch. You can also sign up for my email list at firebelly.com if you want to be notified when new playtests go live. The launch of today's playtest is just the first of several to come as I continue building out the game with your support. And again, starting today, I've launched a Patreon where you can support this game's development and my work more generally. Patreon members can play the very first playtest build right now. The Discord server has also been launched and is open to everyone. It's where you can share feedback on Alchemortis. Alchemortis development is just beginning. This is the first of many devlogs to come, and the game has so much potential. I'm having such a great time building it, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts after you play it. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks for your support. You'll find links to the Steam page.
It's really beautiful. I really like it, the idea. It's something that you look and find yourself like, ooh, I wanted to make that, you know? Very, very good art and gameplay. Very intelligent way to mix things, like that controlled RNG. Looks fun. I like auto batters. I like the Hearthstone one. I don't like TFT. I like backpack battles. I didn't buy it because it was expensive, but this one, single player, I think I like it more than going against other people. Really looks amazing. Okay, I should have stretched during the video. It's not good to keep sitting down for a long time. Shit. Okay. Really good work by Farbelly. I think he needs to make a trailer, could blow up, but it's going to be a success because looks amazing. So let's implement the lucky system. Okay, let's close this. Let's close this one. So on the game data, let's create the attribute luck. Luck. It's going to be a float. Let's say for test purpose 50%. The easiest way to do that, no, there's a lot of people against it, but I want to see what the Claude can do it. Let's open Claude. Here, Claude. Let's explain to it. I want to update that function. Look system. Let's see. Let's see what Claude has for us. Okay, so let's see. I like to see on the editor. We just commit what we did. Okay, so no problem. And let's see here. Okay, for zeroing. I grabbed the wrong function. Oops. Yeah, exactly. Now returns an array. Okay, Claude, let's see how it does. Player lucky. Okay. Okay, this is the same as the last function. Looks good to me. Okay. Put one for test purposes, load. Oops, it's going to have an error because no problem. Let's test. Oh, the storage is you can't because the storage is name. All right. Yeah, we got H. Okay. Yeah, it's all working. Oh no, let's commit it. Now we need to get the original lock, not the hard-coded one here. Jesus, is cold today. So now in the upgrade manager, we want some upgrades, lucky upgrades, lucky, percentage lucky. So let's add the function get lucky. We up all night to get lucky. Here. And on the game data we have 50. We should get some. Okay, because he doesn't know that the storage is full. And if we have like 1,000, then we just need to mine one mineral, right? So good. We up all night to get lucky. Okay, so we have the lucky system implemented. And let's go to a video. It's a video based programming. I already saw this on nice. It's really amazing work. Now I want to subscribe again.
The goofy roguelite shooter that I've
Nails, no. Let's see this one. Goodbye 2006. Jesus, that's sad. I was 6.
1 year ago, I started the insanely ambitious journey of creating my dream game. Since then, I've faced countless errors and moments where I almost quit, but somehow the game survived. So let me take you through 365 days of game development, and I might even show you what I've been up to recently. To begin, let's go back to the very start. What? No, not that far. I went into the project knowing I wanted to make a bullet hell Metroidvania, basically a combination of my two favorite games, Enter the Gungeon and Hollow Knight. Luckily, my friend Porga offered to help, so I basically just enslaved him as my designer. I'm not that good at art. Yeah. Anyway, we still didn't know what the game was going to be about, so we spent a long time just brainstorming. I actually found some of our original concepts in my drawer the other day, so here's what we were doing in class instead of our work. Sorry, Mom. I didn't know it yet, but this was going to be one of the most ambitious things I've done in my life. We wanted it to be about bugs, and we wanted a fly to be the main character. Porga is a huge fan of writing lore, so I could tell he was super happy to just get into making the story for the game. So here's a really simple overview of what happens. You're a fly. You're running from a storm. You fall into a spider's burrow. Ouch! Your wing got violently ripped off on a rock as you fell. Joke's on you, it was actually both wings. Everything goes black. You wake up not knowing where you are, and you can't remember where you came from. A worm gives you a gut. And now, it's up to you to try and repair your wings to escape a massive spider's burrow. I'm not going to tell you anymore because I don't want to spoil anything. And now it was time to actually start making the game. Now luckily when I started, I'd already been making games for over 5 years. But there was one big issue. I've never finished making a game. Like everything I've ever made is half finished or just really unpolished. This shouldn't be an issue at all, right? The first thing I did was code the game prototype. No art, no polish, just the raw mechanics. And, well, yeah, it was definitely something. After this, I personally felt like there was nothing new to code. I thought it would be super simple. I just add art, build out some areas, then the game would be done. I was very, very wrong. But I started designing the player, and what looked pretty good from an outside view ended up being one of the biggest obstacles in development. But I'll explain that a bit later. With a playable character, Porga worked on the art of the first area, the mound.
Back when we first started developing the burrow, it was very simple. A fly falls into a spider's burrow and tries to get their wings back. I thought to myself, if there was a massive hole in the ground that the fly fell in, wouldn't other stuff fall in? I pondered this thought and drew up the mound. A literal mound of rubbish and bugs that all fell to the same fate as our fly. It didn't take long for me to start working on the artwork, in which I drew up a floor. A mix of dirt and rocks, kind of haphazardly placed around. Though this was the first bit of art I drew, and so I may redo it later down the line. Then came the background items. Within a week, I'd drawn about 70 or so items, ranging from rocks to bugs to campfires to whole houses.
And this took ages. I mean, I've literally made like 3 videos just about designing the area, which you wouldn't know because you haven't subscribed. But around this time, I had a bit of a change in motivation and decided I really wanted to grow my YouTube channel as I was seeing a bit of success with my videos. I ended up taking a bit of a break from making videos about the burrow to work on a new series where I finished the game in 50 days. I know some people were probably not too happy that I took a break from my game, but the truth is I was just working on it in the background. And the fact that I actually did finish a game shows that I could do it again. It also helped boost my channel heaps, so I would say it was pretty important. And if some of you are curious about how I make my videos, join my Discord server to see behind the scenes stuff and ask me questions. There's a link in the description. It had been about 8 months at this time, and Porga had finished making most of the art for the mound. It was really time to start making enemies and NPCs because the game felt really empty. Once again, I got Porga to design all of these, which we then animated. I also had to code up a new system for enemies because my younger self didn't do it very well. This wasn't the only time I had to rework things that I had already made. As I mentioned earlier, the player was one of the game's biggest obstacles. And the reason for that was because I was horrible at designing when I first made him. This made it extremely hard to make new animations for the player because I didn't properly separate the layers. So, it was hard, but I redesigned him completely. At this point, it had been about 11 months, and you may be wondering why I skipped a lot. I haven't really talked about it much on this channel, but believe it or not, I have a life. Every weekday, I go to school, which takes about 8 to 9 hours out of my day, leaving me with about 5 hours of free time when I go home. And I do try to spend as much time as possible on my game and the channel, but exercising, studying, and spending time with the people I love is super important to me as well. And so development can be really slow at times, not because I'm not working on the game, but because I don't have a heap of time to work on it. In the months following, I spent a huge amount of time continuing to polish what we had, make other side quest videos, which helped with the channel, fix bugs, and recently we just released a video about the UI of the game, which is pretty awesome, so you should go check that out. And now that the backstory is over, I can tell you about all the new stuff we've added. We've been doing a heap of work on this sub area of the mound called the cross into cavern, a kind of in-between area between the mound, the first area, and the cavern, the second. Me and Porga spent time adding loads of parallaxing and detail to make it really stand out. The process of adding detail is extremely tedious. We basically have to individually arrange every rock, stalagmite, and dirt pile in a precise placement so it doesn't appear to be floating. And you may have noticed this strange looking house over here.
This is the Muddy House, and it's where you meet a Fimble, a librarian who tells you about the game's town, another area we plan on making soon. So I designed the interior of the house, as well as a Fimble, who we've shown before, but I didn't do the greatest job at the animations over a year ago, so I got Melted to improve them for me.
I also added a door system, which gives you a heap of options to choose from, so that I can make some door variations, like whether it needs a key, or if it teleports you to a new area, or just opens. As well as adding a transition effect, so now instead of just seeing yourself teleport from one place to another, you're smoothly transitioned into it. I embarrassingly forgot to mention the health and posture bar last video after telling everyone that I would. My bad. So I've now added those into the game. Basically, when you take damage, a red bar shows how much damage you've taken in the moment, then the bar adjusts to show your total current health, which I think is a pretty cool addition. Oh, and you may have noticed the new damage animation. Yeah, I think this is awesome. I recoded the whole inventory system, which was very fun. We also finalized the tutorial boss. I'm not going to give you any spoilers though. And finally, a death animation. And yeah, I kinda lied. It would have been our year-long anniversary in March or April for making this game. It's been a bit over a year and a half now. But after all this time, I haven't really stopped making the game. So the question I get asked the most is, what's my motivation? What makes me continue? Personally, I think having a simple motivation like I want to be famous or I want to be rich really won't cut it. You need to have a definitive thing that will always be with you. You will always want and will almost always force you into doing work. For me, it's that I need to make an impact on Earth before I die. And I know that's pretty dramatic, but it honestly works really well. To make an impact, I want to inspire people. I want to make money and donate it to charities, live a full life, and be remembered in a good way. So if you're planning on making a game or are feeling really demotivated, I'd recommend thinking of an existential reason to continue rather than just whenever you feel like it. As for what we plan on in the future, obviously getting a demo released is our main priority, so hopefully that will be out before the end of the year, as well as making a Kickstarter to fund the game. So make sure to subscribe so that you can keep up with everything that's happening. And that's a year of game dev as a 17-year-old.
Pretty good video. So today we finished the early prototype. Oops. The core mechanics are all done. You can go to the main menu, load, play, it will be there. The upgrade system, very OP one. Very yeah, I need to put prices on the upgrade tree, so let's do that. And I want to do when you put your mouse on the upgrade node, it will tell you what those are for. I think I prefer this way. Yeah, for now at least. The mic is on, okay. Let's go to node thing. So let's close all this. Let's check the git status. Nothing. Let's open the skill tree scene where we have a skill button here. Let's add a price for it. We have a skill definition, we have the price already. Nope. Let's add a price. It's an integer. By default, 1, 2. And if I want to change it, I really want to implement a system where I will have a CSV file, and based on that CSV file I can create the skill tree. Yeah. Later. For now. Okay. Let's put the price up here. Price 0. And on the anchors, vertical top. Oh, this is the why is nothing? Why? Price. It's not a retriever, no? Skill definition, price 21 str. Okay, so now it should have a price, and when clicking, okay, let's load skill level. Okay, press it, and where we hold the coins is in the game manager, right? Game manager. Game data. Gameplay? Where's the coins? Who is calling that? upgrade manager too. Oh, alright. Or current money is less than skill price. Return. Else, let's grab this one here. Okay, I think that's it. Mine. Okay. Okay. Now on the skill, let's have a description. Description by default. Description. No description. Okay. So okay. So when we let's search how we call that in English. Too cheap. It has it by default. No way. Save description. No way. Jesus. Simple as that. And if you go to the skill tree, the skill buttons here, description, more flat damage. Flat pickaxe yard. Flat same. Okay, so just to play around. Or flat damage, flat storage. Okay, nice. Status. And still oil. Alright. So that's it for today's live. Thanks for watching, if someone is watching today, cause let me show you guys here on the, it's weird cause when I was live there was no one, but Jesus, I don't know if I'm live streaming right now. Oh yeah, it didn't break. Okay, but what I wanted to say is, like, when I finished the live stream, a lot of people watch it. I didn't expect that. And thanks guys for watching. This is it for today. We did some things, luck system, upgrading skills, when have money, description, tool chip, and the mine storage. Okay, thanks for watching.